Welcome back. Let's see if this will work this time. Should be back up online. I'll wait till people start joining the chat. Apparently, my internet was like, no hot takes for you. Too spicy. I didn't even have that spicy of questions. Come on now. But hopefully, people will start filtering in. Let me introduce myself again. What's up, guys, gals, and non binary pals? My name is Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. It's Tuesday night. Time for a live stream if everything will work. But everything looks good this time. What's up, Sujin? Hello, Shannon. Hello again, Melissa. Oh my goodness. Okay. This time it should work okay. I think we're good. I'm not seeing any drop frames. Everything should be fantastic. Hello, Allison. Welcome, welcome. As long as you can hear me, yeah, hit that like button. I need some proper internet. I don't know what's happening. Help me pay for a new router or something. It is kind of an old router. I probably do need to get a new one at some point, but I don't know what that was about. It doesn't happen very often, and I don't ever find out that there's an issue until after I've already begun the live stream and it starts dropping frames. It's very bizarre. Hello again, Abby. Oh my goodness. Okay. Getting agitated by this doc. Let me open that back up. Try that again. Didn't want to give me the infos that I needed. Any hoozles. Back to it. I'll ask again just in case I missed anybody's answers. Hello, Nori. Hello, Liana. Oh my goodness. Um, but yeah, so tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me what's happening in your lives. Um, and let's get this all back on track again. Sorry about the sudden boot or whatever. Okay, so I was going to talk to Crashly, all right, and see if, she would be upset or whatever about, um, like, what if I was to do some sort of like a D-stash auction, like she's been doing with her husband, with people in our little community, our little group, so that if people had something that they wanted to put up for auction here on my live stream, we could do it on a random Tuesday night or whatever. And if people had things that they wanted to de-stash for auction, maybe we could do something like that if there was something you wanted to get rid of. And then I could do like some sort of I don't know. I'm sure that there's like a way to be able to set it up so that whomever bought whatever item from auction, that they would be set up with the person that they needed to PayPal. You know what I mean? Like get that all whatever. I thought that could be a good idea. Hello, Linda Malnati Z7N. Working on Azalea. Ooh, working on your Ennis. But I thought that could be good. And then, if there was something that was specifically Canada, it'd be like, this is going to be coming from Canada, blah, 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 blah. And so it'd be better if it was Canadian auction people specifically, though I've paid for shipping from the US to Canada, and it's really not like that much different than it is to do like in the lower 48. So I don't think it would be a big, huge deal, but I just wanted to check in and make sure that, that wouldn't be a problem, because then it could be more like a group thing if people had stuff that they wanted to get rid of, whatever. I think it could work. I think it could work. But any hoozles. Um, Before I could even really ask my first hot take kind of question, My internet was like, no, you don't. I don't think so. Too spicy. Sabotage, sabotage. I feel slighted by my own internet. How very dare you? How very, very dare you? I, Wallflower, got an email that Pirate Ship will raise their rates soon. I don't use Pirate Ship personally. Um, I've never actually used it. Like, I just go to the post office, but that doesn't surprise me. Does not surprise me. But I figure, like, as far as figuring out shipping or whatever, that could be done with the person and the person who's auctioning off their item, like more or less, here's the contact for this person because you auction that person's stuff all at one time, moving on to the next person. This is the person you're going to contact. I think there's a way to do it. It was a way to get rid of any spies. I like that. Yes. Pirate Ship was just saying USPS prices are going up for the holiday. Oh, interesting. I mean, I guess that makes sense with the holidays coming up. To raise rates. That'd be the time to do it when it's about to get the busiest. You know what I mean? Sneaky buttholes. Always trying to raise prices and stuff. But, somebody's got to pay for all those postal strikes. I guess it's everybody else. Isn't that great? Isn't that just about a beach? Holiday rates, shipping always goes up this time of year. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so hot take questions. Hot take questions. I've got them. I do, even though my internet was like, nah, you don't. Or you don't have hot take questions. What are you talking about? There are no hot takes. None at all. I should probably post a new link to Discord, huh? Share the live stream. There we go. This. Put this over here. New link. There we go. And we're back again. Any hoozles. Okay. So, like I said, I got some hot take questions. You tell me how you think. Is it a hot take to you? Why do you agree or disagree? I'll tell why I agree or disagree. Okay. Um, and some of these are very obvious hot takes. Some of them are like, I don't know why that would be a hot take. Okay. Number one, or round one, has to do with art and licensing questions. Okay, okay. So first question, well, statement. Is it a hot take or not? Buying unlicensed kits isn't a big deal if it's pretty. Oh boy. Oh boy. Um, so like here's the thing about buying unlicensed. I think that if you're not outright stealing artwork from an artist, then I don't have a problem with anybody buying unlicensed kits. I think that's what some people can't afford, right? I think that it's hard to know whether or not you're stealing from an artist. So you've actually got to like do some research to make sure that you're not. Uh, but there's some people who are constrained inside of a budget. I mean, if it's something that like very obviously it's got the artist watermark in the piece of artwork, you're stealing from them, right? So like don't steal art from artists. Uh that's why I buy licensed in the first place is because I don't want to steal art from artists. So no, I don't think it would be appropriate to get it unlicensed just because it's pretty. If you do get something and you know who the artist is, kick that artist some money. Um, it's not going to be a steal if like a steal from that person if you pay them for the art that you got. It doesn't have to be $1,000,000. It could be $10, but throw them something, you know? If you know that you took it, then give them something for compensation. What's up, Alondra? Woo woo. But I think pretty much everybody can agree with that. I don't think that's a very hot take to say, yeah, don't steal art from artists, right? Just don't do it. Don't do it. To know for you. But they're free pictures. Yeah, heck yeah. As long as you know the difference, as long as it's not stolen, because old masters are actually in the realm of, what do they call that? Like open licensing or whatever, because after 75 years, there's a specific date that you can follow, but certain pieces of artwork after so many years are actually, they're free. That's why you see so many places will start out licensing things like, Starry Night or whatever, because it's actually um in the open realm, whatever. Melissa, I say steal the marts. Public domain. Thank you, Sujin. I knew you'd know that word. What's up, digital divine weapon? How you doing, lady? Hi, Tigger. Driving home. Okay, next question. AI art should never be used in diamond painting. I know how my son feels about this. My son will come for people. He hates AI, wants nothing to do with AI. Um, I think that AI has been overused in a lot of diamond painting. I think it's an easy way to not have to license. And then there are some AI artists that actually license out their artwork, which is what it is, right? That's just kind of what it is in our world nowadays, people licensing out AI. I think that right now, unfortunately, the beast is out of the box. It can be used responsibly. Um, but it would be really hard at this point to try and bring it all back in. I think that uh, there was not a lot of really good planning, like governmentally. There wasn't a lot of really good planning when it came to AI development of images and things like that. And so the technology was available before the laws were really out in the world. And so, yeah, I think that it would be impossible to kind of bring it back to square one now. I don't think that that will happen. Um, so I can't say that it never belongs in art, but you know, I'm doing okay. DDV, I'm doing all right. You found me, Glory. Yes. Sorry about the boot earlier. Honestly, at this point, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I can't tell the difference anymore with some things. That's true too. I know hands, feet are a giveaway, but things are getting so good. I'm pretty nervous about it. Yeah. Well, and it's funny, like not in an art realm exactly, but if you go and watch a video, Smith now, and they have two videos, like there's The Rock eating rocks and there's Will Smith eating spaghetti, and the differences are terrifying. I mean, even the way that people use AI to scam people and to say like, "Oh, hey, I'm your daughter. I'm kidnapped or whatever, and you got to pay a ransom or whatever." And like, there's some scary AI scams out there even. So I understand what you're saying. It is really hard to tell. And especially when a lot of artists are not being totally upfront about their use with AI, it makes it very, very hard to tell, you know? Yeah, there are some dead giveaways, but AI is getting very, very, very good at mimicking what it sees, you know? You're getting cut out. Uh-oh, anybody else having issues? I'm still torn, but I do wish artists were asked before their art was fed into the AI machine. Yes. So my niece goes to an art school for traditional art, and it's difficult for me to support AI. I have purchased AI, but it would break my heart that someone could copy my niece's work. I agree. I agree. It's hard. It is really hard. I mean, there are some people who do use it legitimately as a like a starting tool and kind of layer on or do things to actually manipulate what they have. Or they take their own art and they feed it into the machine and then it gives them something back and then they manipulate that or whatever. It can be used responsibly. Often most people don't. That's the sad part. That's when you end up with witches off of broomsticks and hamsters without hands and um, dolphins with fish fins and you know what I mean? Like there's some really lazy AI out there. It's unfortunate. It is really unfortunate. But in some ways it can give people an opportunity to digitally manipulate their own art or making art without just typing in a prompt, you know? Hello, Noel. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Telling everybody to boop that like button. Kick it down. Oh God, when they copy another artist piece or art style and it's obvious. Yeah. Yeah, it's out there. It's definitely out there. With a few simple commands, you know what I mean? You can have it tweaking things and whatever, and it can mimic an artist directly, you know. Scary stuff. But yeah, that's always going to be kind of a hot button issue. I feel like when it comes to people who traditionally respect art and artists. I'm not saying that if you like AI artwork that you don't respect art and artists, but it's hard. It's hard to be ethical. And like I said, now the beast is out of the box. What do you do about it? You gotta you gotta kind of make decisions. Look at Noel making an entrance. Yeah, talking about your coming in with coming in with the super chat. Blam. You came in with that super chat. Hello, Moonchild0991. So Moony. Hello, Shelby. I don't know if Rowan is there, but I'm working on something. Oh, you read that wrong. What do you think she said? Moon Moon. Oh man. I'm old enough to remember Moon Moon. Okay, let's see. Next hot take question. Companies, is this a hot take question? Companies should name and credit every artist on their listings. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I think that the problem is that the product comes out of China, right? And because diamond paintings come out of China, they have very different IP laws than we have here in the States. They are not required to do certain things, and so therefore they do not. Um, but crediting the artist would also mean licensing the artist, and some places do not bother. Now, what I don't like is like, okay, so there's some of these companies where it's very clear that their art is AI. It's what it is. And they hand render it and they put it out and they do what they do, whatever. And then there's no credit to anyone or anything. Sometimes it's like minis or whatever. That's often where I see a lot of that. It's not everything that I see, but there's a lot of minis places out there that there's no credit to any particular artist because a lot of it is like AI. Um, and so, yes, I think that you need to be crediting the artist every time. I won't necessarily buy it if it doesn't have some sort of artist credit or if artist credit is not given in some sort of way up to and including throw that artist some money. You know what I mean? Hello, fun and shiny things. What about that as a hot take? Right? Looking great. She's getting tucked in. I'll show her real quick. Yeah, getting close to the top. I'll be done with this in no time. And hello, ooh, Rowan stuff. Hello, Rowan. Okay. Let's see. Hot take. It's not my job to research licensing before I buy. Um, disagree. Disagree. I totally disagree. I think that there's a lot of people that don't know that that's a responsibility when they start out. Um, and so I can't be like, I didn't know. I did not know. I assumed that like that companies were ethical. Like, you know what I mean? I put it as a, oh, they know what they're doing and just assume that if they were selling it, that they must be being ethical about it. And obviously that's not the case. So I didn't know it was my responsibility to research licensing before I actually started diamond painting. But I think that now that I know, hi Keith, Keith 80, Keith A. Dietrichs. I don't know. I'm not reading that right, probably. Keith the Dietrichs. um, yeah, I had no idea. I didn't know I was supposed to know about licensing until I learned. And now I know and I do better. But I don't think that somebody who's just starting out in diamond painting is going to know that. And I don't think that, obviously shaking a finger at somebody is not going to make them see your point of view. And that's true of literally everything, right? If somebody's shaking a finger at me while they're trying to teach me something, I'm like, "Hey, bye." I don't have any interest in learning from somebody who's shaking a finger in my face personally. It's me, Sarah. Which Sarah? There's so many Sarahs. There's all the Sarahs. Okay, let's see. Next question. Oh, I don't know if these are hot takes. We'll find out. Companies and products. Expensive kits are worth every penny. I think it depends on where it comes from because you can get an expensive kit that's not good. You can get a licensed kit that's not good. I've gotten them before. There are some places that it's not about the quality to them. It's just about the licensing or the getting of money from other people for their kind of crap product. You can charge what's the saying? Like, I mean, you can polish a turd, right? And so there's plenty. Hello, Annie, listening while DPing. Sweet. Yeah, there's companies out there whose quality is garbage, but because it's licensed, people will pay for it, whatever. There's a couple companies I could name, I will not, but they charge a lot and their product is bad. It happens all the time. You know what I mean? And you probably don't see them on my channel because I know better. But more, yeah, Abby. More money does not equal quality. It doesn't. It's the real Sarah, the important one. Wait, did you change your name? What happened? Why does it say fun and shiny thing? I don't remember that ever being your YouTube name. Do you have a different profile or something? I'm so lost. I'm so lost. Why is it doing that? It got me all lost. YouTube's being weird tonight too, because like Abby's not Abby on it. Sarah's not Sarah. So confused. Yeah, it's changing the names. I don't know what's happening. Oh, you can tell because she's a mod. Oh, that makes sense. Duh. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Thank you, Mel. That's a good point. Didn't even notice. Wasn't even looking there. I'm like, huh? I'm not DM. I was like, why did you say that? Yeah, I don't know. But YouTube's being real weird. Like Digital Divine Weapon is usually DM. Sarah's usually Sarah. Abby's usually Abby. I don't know what it's doing. Hi, Marianne. So sorry I'm late. No worries. YouTube being creepy tonight. Don't know what it's doing. Okay. Hot take. Affiliate codes make reviews biased. Affiliate codes make reviews biased. It can. They can. Um, I think that if a person is an affiliate, one, say that you're an affiliate. Don't like keep that a secret because I think that that is part of being honest about your reviews, right? Um, I think that it will give a person an opportunity to take what you say with a grain of salt. And I know we don't want to come off as distrustworthy immediately, but it's important to tell people when you're affiliated because your opinion might be a little skewed. If you are receiving some form of compensation from a company, your opinion might be skewed. I think that um, there are some people who do not say anything about their affiliations and then give their air quote honest opinions about things. And you don't find out until later that they're best friends with the owner, right? Yeah, even Mel's name doesn't show us the numbers after it. Yeah, it's being very weird. But I definitely try very hard myself one, not to be biased and to give my honest feedback, even if it would cost me an affiliation, because, like, what good is a dishonest opinion going to do you? But there are people who are, or they're affiliates with a place simply because they spend a lot of money there and they're given that free diamond painting or whatever to kind of keep them happy so that they keep spending with the company. I don't know. There's a lot of dishonesty out there in regards to affiliations, and I think that it is important to say that you're an affiliate from the jump. And I think it's important also to say that you received, like, if you received a kit from a company for free to review or whatever, state that that company gave you that kit because it matters. It matters. Not saying anything is super sus. I agree. I think yes, because even subconsciously there's, hey, more comp if more people buy. I agree with that. I agree with that. And I'm an affiliate of some places. I think that it does skew your words a little bit. And I think that it's important that you have to be open and honest about your affiliations immediately, not to hide that behind a veil of like, "Oh, what's this I got? I bought this in the mail," or whatever, and you didn't buy it, they sent it to you, and you're not really giving your honest feedback. Mayonnaise takes 0 spice. Oh. Oh, hey, my name is just my YouTube username. Yeah, it's being weird, Sujin. It's being really weird. I don't know what the hell it's doing. It's got me so confused tonight. Like Sarah's not Sarah, Melissa's not her usual name, Abby's name is not her usual name. I don't know what the hell YouTube's doing this evening. Maybe they're doing some sort of an update. I have no freaking idea. I'm having to relearn names all over again. For a second, Sarah, I was like, no, not leftovers. Yikes. Run away. Oh my gosh. Okay. What's the next one? Let's see. Um, oh, okay. Shipping delays are just part of the hobby. People need to chill. These are our prisoner numbers. YouTube's hot take for the evening. Uh, okay. Let me read that again. Shipping delays are just part of the hobby. People need to chill. That's why I said the important one. Yeah, not the leftover one. You're Sarah with the freshness. Suppose I could have said the first one. That one I probably would have like totally been, "Oh yeah, okay." The real one. Um, yeah. Okay. I think that there are some people who don't maybe fully understand the whole process behind how diamond paintings get created and where they're coming from and all the ins and outs, right? There's a lot of people who don't know the ins and outs. But there are also some companies, I'm going to be honest, that 100% count on the fact that they tell you it's going to take 3 months so that they can buy themselves more time in whatever area. Like like beyond a certain point, a diamond painting shouldn't take longer than 3 months to get to you. Like it's stretching it at that point. If you're getting into the 4 month arena, like things might be a little bit suspect, is all I'm saying. And yes, I do think sometimes people need to chill. But it's good to know. Yeah, Sarah said, "Sometimes shipping delays are fine, sometimes let me know." Yeah, totally unrelated. Rowan, seeing you working on that had her going to bed beaming. Aw. I think shipping delays can happen with anything. I think that's just life. Yes, at some point, getting pissy is okay too. I agree. I think that, it's like if you have on your website an expectation that something is going to take 3 weeks and it takes 9, it's okay to get pissy with that person. I think it's all right to ask what's going on in those instances. Like there are and should always be set expectations as far as that goes. Like you're not keeping your end of the deal, then maybe this is not the business that you should be selling stuff in, I guess. You can't keep to your end of the deal. I'm fine with waiting as long as you keep up with reasonable communication. Yeah. Excuse me, Abby. We're in an I need it now society, so I need it now. Don't care how I want it now. Veruca Mel over here. Okay. Oh, customer service horror story. Horror. Customer service horror stories are exaggerated I wanted to make sure you knew I wasn't saying horror stories. Why aren't you Amazon? Give me now. Yeah. See, Sujin gets me. Okay, Miss Amazon Prime customer. Some of us can't afford that Prime. Some of us be waiting our extra days, you know? Um, ooh, okay. So I've had a couple of customer service horror stories, okay? And I think that it it's wrong to get mad at the company when you have a crap customer service rep because well, I mean, granted, yes, the company needs to be training their reps to not be dumbasses. That's totally fine. But like blaming the company for a unless it's the owner you're talking to or whatever, then be pissed away. I don't care. But um there are some that I think are wildly exaggerated where I go like, you were crying about what now? Like, why was that so important to go to social media with? I don't understand. And then there are other times where it's like, why wasn't that dealt with differently? The customer service person, because I've had some experiences where it's like this customer service person, they need some extra training. Or not hiring D bags. Yes, D bags whose name begin with M. If you know, you know. None of those happen to us ever. No horror stories here. But I get it. At some point, it gets ridiculous. I have pens I've been waiting on since March. Yeah, yes. And communication in that is key. You know, as long as you're communicating and you're letting people know what's happening and why it's happening, that's that's big. But I think that yeah, there are some stories out there that are exaggerated. Do I think all of them are exaggerated? No. I do think that some people probably need better customer service training and maybe don't belong in customer service and I wish that they would go and find their other calling in life. Maybe it's being a D-bag for I don't know, like US Cellular or something instead of working with ladies who just use a hobby to like relax and unwind at the end of the day. Just ask for your money back. I mean, honestly, and leave a bad review. Ooh, not that bad review. Um, Paying 100 plus dollars for a kit is ridiculous. Well, um, so my Canadian friends, right? I don't know that there are too many kits that are under $100 for you guys anymore, honestly. Um, I think that it's getting to be a lot. Uh, but I think that that's bound to happen with a anything that gets popular the way that diamond painting has gotten popular. If a company is forced to like tick up sales or production or things like that has to come from somewhere. It's not like all of a sudden just because, you know, we we all like it a lot that um places are able to make it less expensive because we're buying more. That's not always the case. You've got to hire more workers, you've got to hire more customer service, you've got to produce more, you've got to get more products, you've got to buy more things. And so I think that, you know, with any hobby that gains in popularity the way that diamond painting has, you're there's just going to be companies that have to charge you. And as long as the product is of good quality, then no, I don't think that spending 100 plus dollars on a kit is a necessarily always a bad thing, unless it's a piece of crap. I've come so close, I can't say no to get to leaving a bad review. Yes, I pay it, but I'm way more picky and selective. Yeah, yeah. And honestly, it does get it does get to a point where, like, I don't have the money to constantly buy and buy and buy, and so I do have to be really careful and selective about what I do choose. But that's okay. I don't think that there's anything wrong with taking a little extra time, looking over the render a little more closely, and making more informed buying decisions. I think that actually it's kind of a godsend sometimes, just so I don't end up with a stash of 1,000 kits that I'm like, why did I buy that again? You know? Oh, spending 100. Yeah, unfortunately, it's like in some cases, it's completely unavoidable, totally unavoidable. There are some companies that are even more insane, but 100 is the norm for us. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I imagine that some of those companies, you have to kind of go like, I don't know if I'm ready to put out, over 170 Canadian for a kit or whatever, one singular kit. It just might not be a choice you can make. Um, the diamond painting market is oversaturated at Paula Teresi. How do you know if a rendering is good or bad? Oh boy. Um, well, I'll let me answer this question first and then I'll answer your question, Paula, because there's a lot of signs that you can look for. Um, so is the diamond painting market oversaturated? Like I said, I feel like it has become very popular. I think that there's lots of small shops that are out there. Some will last, some will not. I think that I appreciate having options. I appreciate having um different places that I can go, different places that I can go for different artists. Um, it's I think it's nice to not walk up to, if you want a hamburger, you don't get a hamburger from one specific restaurant only, that you could go to several restaurants if you enjoy a hamburger from this place. You want a spicy hamburger, you want a chicken burger, you want a tofu burger. Having all of these different options to choose from, I think is kind of nice. I think it might be overwhelming for people who are starting out, but I think if you get yourself, into a group of people who kind of know what's going on, you do your research and what have you. I don't think it's quite as overwhelming. But yeah, there's a lot of diamond painting companies right now. I feel like inflation in general has been ridiculous. Yes. And it's not just DP. You're absolutely right. Inflation and tariffs have made these streets rough. Yes. The resales are filled with hoe bags. Yes. The resales are, I mean, scary, scary, scary to look at. It's like, holy balls. Why is this diamond painting that I can wait 3 months and get for $60 worth 250 today for some weird reason? Some perceived need of having it right this minute makes it worth 250 bucks to some people. And I mean, more power to ya. I'm not doing it. Can't do it. So, Paula, you were asking about what makes a good or a bad render. Okay, so it depends on what you're looking for, honestly, truthfully and honestly. There are some images that will, unless rendered well, are not going to look as good in a hand render as they do in a computer render. So, for instance, um, Jaded Gem Shop. Jaded Gem Shop has two different options for the way that they sell their diamond paintings. You can either get what's called a hybrid render, where it's mostly computer rendered, where the image is more or less just been plugged into a program, cleaned up a little bit, and then shipped to you after it's created. And then she has what's called pixel charted or hand rendered kits where somebody actually works on the render. Now, what makes a render good or bad is how much time is a company spending on making sure that that image is as close to the original as possible while also not creating a lot of pixelated noise in the render itself. Um, and I think it's all in a person's eye and their perspective and what they see, what they like. Some people swear by computer renders only, where very little is done. It's just run through a program and there you have it. An example, hold on just a second. I'll show you a couple of examples. Um, all right, so scooch this back a little bit. Okay, an example of something that is computer rendered. This one in particular, this one is a hybrid render actually, but it's more computer than it is hand rendering. Now that penny thing going on where shops will round up or down, you might not get the correct change. I work part-time at Dollar Tree and we have a sign posted about this and why it is. Yeah, they're getting rid of the penny, aren't they? Okay. Um, yay, was looking for a video while I diamond paint. Hello, Posh Josh. Okay. So this is an example of a hybrid render because you were asking what makes a good or a bad render. Again, it depends. This is from Jaded Gem Shop. This is what's called a hybrid render, meaning that it is mostly computer and there's a little hand touch up happening in it. But it's as close to computer render as I have at the moment to show you. So with this one, you can kind of see how there's noise in it. It looks really good in viewing distance. It's when you get up close to it, that's when you start to see things are going weird, okay? Like for instance, the shine on her hair looks fairly normal when you're looking in viewing distance, but when you bring it up to your eye, when you're actually working on it, you can see that there's yellow, there's orange, there's brown, there's gray, there's blue. It's all sorts of stuff. Like even the sword no longer holds up when you get it up close, right? There aren't there aren't pronounced lines of things, okay? Like yes, there's a line down this way, but it's actually a bunch of different colors. It's not just one color. It's many colors on that line, right? This is the computer render. You might consider this a air quote bad render depending on what you're looking for. Some people will not work on computer renders, and that's okay. That's a choice. This is what would be considered, I believe, a D grade render, meaning that there's a little bit of hand touch up and a lot of computer doing the heavy lifting. Okay? Just got a bald spot. That's what it looks like when I don't color my roots. Oh no. um, that would be considered a D render. I'll show you a mid-grade render, okay? Something that would be more like a B plus or a C, all right? And it's still a good kit, but it's not what would be considered maybe a great render. I still love it, don't get me wrong, but this one would be considered more like a mid-range render. This is a very old piece from Bella. This was something actually that came from the former owner of Mary's Diamonds that Bella bought. Not important. So this one, again, in viewing distance, it looks phenomenal. It looks great. It's when you get it up close that you start to see where things fall apart. Okay. This one in particular, you can see that they have outlined things. There's outlining happening. There's the lines in these shoes. There's lines in the tail. There's things that they've touched up, right? But when you get up close to it, things start to fall apart. So like I'll draw your attention to right here in the leg of this that's a Pegasus. Um, it looks pretty good when you're looking from viewing distance, but when you get up close, you start to see, okay, there's a lot of noise in there. That's a lot of what's called confetti, right? Or where you're changing colors a lot, you're not necessarily able to multi-place. That this would be like a mid-grade render or like a B plus, maybe C render. Okay. Um, you're seeing that there's lots of weird colors in there, but it does look good when you look at it in viewing distance. Now, an A grade render is like what you're seeing here from Diamond Art Club. Uh, Diamond Art Club, other companies also do full 100% hand renders where they don't leave a lot of the noise in the background. But the color science that makes it look good or bad. Now, granted, they do use color science too, but this is what's called an A grade render, 100% hand render. Yes, there may still be some confetti in it, but it's confetti that's necessary. It's not just weird colors. Yes, it's going to use color theory to make your eyeball from a distance think that certain things are happening, like how crystal clear her eyes look. Obviously, when you get close to them, it does kind of sort of fall apart with the greens and whatever, and not really, actually. It still looks really good. But this is what's considered an A grade render. It honestly, both a computer render can be a great render for somebody, and something that is fully hand charted could be a great render for somebody, and vice versa. Some people are like, computer render, screw that. I don't pay money to be doing all that confetti and all that craziness. Some people, they don't like fully hand renders because they prefer confetti and they don't want all this color blocking. They are like, no, you're taking all of the fun away from it, and I want to work on it the way it's supposed to look, the way the image is supposed to look. It really is a matter of perspective, Paula. I hope all of that made sense. If you have any questions, just let me know. Um, Azalea is probably a pure computer render if she's um oh uh she is actually in rolled up in a box right now. Um but yeah, I hope that made sense. She's not at hand. Um but like I said, if you have other questions, definitely let me know. Okay, so another hot take. Oh, square drills are superior to round drills, Shelby says, and Jade does allow people to pull together to pay for hand rendering or hand charting the renders. Yes, she does. So if there's something at Jaded Gem Shop that you like, you can actually get together with a group of people to have something hand rendered that is only offered normally in the hybrid or computer render. Um, squares are superior to square drills are superior to round drills, but it depends on the company, in my opinion. There are some places where I would much rather just work with a round, the round that they have than the squares, simply because there's so much trash in the square drills. If you mean like square renderings are superior to round renderings. Again, I think there's like a time and a place for both styles. So it just really kind of depends on the company. It depends on the image itself. I do prefer squares over rounds, but I'll work on whatever the image is in that if I like the image. You know, it doesn't matter so much what it's rendered with as long as I like the image and the render looks good to me. Make market squares. Yeah, nah. That is not superior in any kind of way. Depends on the company and depends on who you talk to about it, right? Never leave my rounds alone. Depends on the pick. I'd rather not landscape and right. I don't understand places that decide to do their landscapes in round. think that's a strange choice every time it's done, but sometimes it turns out okay. I'd just rather not. That's all. I'd just rather not. Let's see. Ooh, acrylic drills are perfectly fine. Resin is overrated. Okay, I've actually heard someone use this exact sentence as a means for defending the fact that they sell their diamond paintings with acrylic drills. I think that acrylic drills are fine. They're not they're not equivalent to the quality of resin, or we would not have started making they wouldn't have started making drills out of resin if there was not improvement that needed to be made, right? Um, so I think to just say that resin is overrated is an incorrect statement. I've never done an acrylic kit, so no idea. It's not the most fun. I've worked on acrylic kits where it was around. Um, I haven't worked on an acrylic square before, like a full I've ended up with acrylic squares in my kits, but where like the acrylic, if you were to rub across the top, you would end up with drills stuck to your hand because they don't like to stick to the glue. Um, and that is agitating. Acrylic is okay. It is annoying, is what it yeah. They annoy on occasion, but sometimes it's fine. Right. When looking at the Jada Gem Shop website, if it doesn't tell you the render style, the default is always going to be a hybrid render on Jada Gem Shop. It will explicitly state if something is air quote pixel charted, that means hand rendered. But the default is always going to be a hybrid render, mostly computer with like a 15% touch up. But if it was if it was like something that she listed more than a couple of years ago, it's probably not offered in a hand render immediately. It's something that somebody would have to vote on having made into a pixel charted, but you can actually search just hand rendered kits. Like there's a drop down option if you're specifically looking for a hand render. The thing that I like about Jada Gem Shop's hand renders versus the hybrid renders, as far as ease of access, is that you pay one price, you get all the specials that she charts into it. You don't have to pay any extra for specials. Because otherwise, if you're getting a hybrid kit and you want special drills in it, you have to pay an additional fee per different type of drill. Like ABs is one fee, dust drills are another fee, metallics are another fee, crystals are another fee. So like the nice thing about a hand render is it's all inclusive. Um, but when you're doing something that has that much confetti, I don't find that adding specials to it always makes it look better. It kind of just gets lost in the sauce. But you can look under there's actually like a specific spot where you can just view the hand rendered ones. Yeah, you're welcome, Alondra. Um, but yeah, so you can actually choose when you're doing the computer render, size makes a difference, right? So if you want something that looks good, obviously bigger is usually better, but there's an example of the different sizes that she offers. So like you can kind of see how much confetti you're going to get when you look at the different sizes that she gives you, which I think is handy. Being able to kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like if you want to get, say, a 60 by 80 versus a 110 by 150 or something, that making up numbers. Didn't know I could post links. Yeah, heck yeah. But those are usually, the other thing that's nice about the hand rendered ones is typically they're ready to ship, meaning they're already on US soil and they're at her place and they just got to be basically boxed up and sent out, which I also like because then you don't have to wait the several weeks to get it, which is kind of nice. And I like that there's different options too, you know what I mean? Like mystical dream diamonds, they also have some computer rendered, some hand rendered. Uh Ever After, I think, also has some that are computer rendered and some that are hand rendered, but it'll state explicitly if it is hand rendered or not in both of those cases as well. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. Next question. Color blocking is boring. I think color blocking is boring. I know that there are some people that love their color blocking. I am not one of those people. I would rather rip my hair out with my bare hands than to do just color blocking. Like I can handle uh color blocking in small doses. I don't want to work on a kit that is like mostly color blocking. There's some confetti to break it up, cool, fine, but I'm not looking for kits that are color block heavy. That's just not fun for me. Not a great time. I also finish them way too fast. But it is boring, in my opinion, to just sit and color block. I know some people love their color blocking. I'm not dissing you, but you can have it. You can keep it. I'll let you. Depends on how big the section. Yeah, that too. How big the color block section is, because if it's massive, forget about it. I like what's I call it color blobbing. The reason I call it that is because it's just like a or color blooping. It'd be like a little bloop, 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 little sections of color blocking. I'm cool with that. Cool with that. But if the whole thing is like okay, I don't buy like cartoon images, too much color blocking. Most of the images color blocking. Like when I did the Ah Real Monsters kit, oh my goodness. That was migraine inducing actually. There's a time and a place for everything. It's not my first choice and is more boring than confetti. Yeah, only with dark colors and not too much. I like a mix. Too much confetti is not it for me. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And oh, you know, okay, here's a question. Which is worse? Dark color blocking or light color blocking? For me personally, I would rather diamond paint dark color blocking only because with light colors you can see every gap when you multi-place, because I'm not going to not multi-place a color blocked section. I'm not going to do that. I've got to be able to multi-place it to get it done and over with. And the thing that sucks with dark colors is like sometimes you can start to lose your row or whatever because you can't see very well like what you're laying down, but at least you don't see every baby gap. Yeah, the gaps are just too obvious. That'll make me crazy. More forgiving. Yes. Light, dear Lord, the gaps. Right. Oof. Like the librarian. Hi, Jamie. Yeah, this is Ivy Dolamore's Written in the Stars. Yes, it is. Yeah, I would much rather, if I have to do color blocking, to not do it in the light colors. where you can see every little baby mistake. I mean, granted, I do pretty well with making sure my lines are straight or whatever, but like you can't get away from it when it comes to the light color blocking. It's like forget about it. You might as well just give up. Both suck in their own special ways, but yeah, light with the gapping. Okay, let's see. Confetti sections are relaxing. I think so. I think that yeah, there's like definitely a limit, I feel like, where it gets to be too much. Like like I have to take a break. You know what I mean? If I've been working on a kit that's like super confetti heavy and I've been working on it for a while, I'm like, okay, I need to take a breather from it. Give me something a little with a little more variety, whatever. But I prefer confetti to color blocking. And yeah, I can sometimes find confetti sections relaxing. I don't know that I've ever found a color blocking section relaxing, but I can definitely get into the zen of confetti. Hello, Matt. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, confetti, yes, it can be relaxing for sure. No such thing. All the confetti. Yeah. Um. Oh, is this a hot take? Double-sided adhesive should be retired forever. Yes, absolutely. Do people really enjoy double-sided adhesive? Like, honestly, is that a thing that people would rather work on a kit with double-sided adhesive? I've never heard of a person that would prefer it that way, but maybe I'm also not like, I don't watch everybody. You know what I mean? I don't know. Are there people that like that is their jam? Because I know there's some kits, right? That you can only get in double-sided adhesive. Um, who am I thinking of? Is it Das UK that does Josephine Walls in double-sided adhesive? Like, but is that anybody's preference? Mermaid Bedroom was fairly color blocky, but it just went so fast and was still relaxing. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, there's Beans getting home. Hold 1 second. They're barking because Dustin just got back with Bean. He was helping his parents get a ceiling fan up in their bedroom, and he just got back. Welcome back. Don't let him start because if he thinks he's going to get a walk immediately because you guys just got back, I'm almost done with my live. He can't have a walk yet. So you're going to have to handle that. Take him upstairs with you and hang out. Diamond Painting Deutschland, thank you. Relaxing. I find confetti to be more engaging, which is necessary to relax sometimes. Yeah, I can see that. Never done one, no plans. Yes, thank you, Melissa. It's PSA time. Slap that like button. I don't mind double-sided adhesive. Love that drills don't shift. I'm OCD with my initial placement. So, oh yeah, see, that would be a problem. Like I'm used to being able to kind of slide them around, when they're not quite right. And yeah, you're right. You really can't do that with double-sided adhesive. That would be a mistake. And I'm pretty good about my initial placement, but man, heaven forbid you mess it up. You'd be in trouble. So, I mean, no, mom, I see you. Yeah, I know. He wants to hang out with me. He's like, "Is it time? Is it time yet? Are we going? Where are we going?" Goofy boy. Goofy beans. Great Pyrenees, as I tell ya. They're like having huge adult children, but with like a teenager's mindset. It's great sometimes, and then sometimes not so great. Never ordered anything with double-sided tape. Saw some videos early on about the rivers and what to do. So thank the gods for that. I know, right? Hi, Whitney. Hello, hello. Everybody say hello to Whitney Diamond Paints. Yes, yes. Yeah, I don't know anybody who's like, yeah, let me get that double-sided adhesive. Also, okay, so I early on, I had gotten a diamond painting, a squares diamond painting, so trashy, and it was double-sided adhesive, and I don't remember, one, I do remember chucking it directly into the trash pretty quickly, but I don't remember if it had, like, additional smell. I would think, like, double-sided adhesive would maybe smell a little different. I could be wrong, because again, I don't generally I'm not looking to go buy double-sided adhesive canvases, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Um, 3D printed trays are overpriced. Ooh. Uh, I think that there are some that are overpriced when they're just like a carbon copy of the stuff that's already out there. Sure. But when you're talking about like Firefly or Ephemera 3D, for instance, who are doing really um, innovative things with their trays, like the new Firefly tray, what is it called? The Twinkle, where it actually has built-in lights. It has a charge that it keeps on it. You don't have to keep it plugged in. You can see your drills very clearly. Like those are priced up a little bit, but honestly, like the work that's put into creating them is not it's not nothing, you know? Where did I put my for my tweezers? There, there. Got a little piece of there we go. Maybe, but you pry them out of my cold dead hands. But yeah, some of the trays that have been coming out are really cool, like the ones that have the magnets in them, and like they're doing more than just making a simple design tray and then slapping on a big old expensive label on it. So some can be overpriced, but I think for the most part, the ones that I enjoy getting are ones that are doing more than just being a tray. But I definitely want to try out that Twinkle. I do. It does stink a bit. I've never done a square DSA. I avoid budget squares. Oh yeah, woof, woof, no thanks. Oh, here's another one. Companies don't perfect renderings enough before release. Uh, you guys, you got anything you want to say about that? Companies don't perfect their renderings enough before release is the hot take question. Um, I think there's work to be done. I think that there's a lot of time where some companies get it right almost every time. And then I think that there is sometimes where it's like, did anybody really look at that before it was sent off to production? Because I almost said production, because that was a choice. I think yes, with some artists they do actually pay a little closer attention also. Which broom hand? I think a lot of them have a good amount of room for improvement. Yeah, on occasion, there are some that are just woof. Yep, broom adjacent. Yeah. Yep. Or hamsters without hands, you know. But I think that generally there are places that they work at getting it right. And I think that there are places too, even now, like that are really making strides in bettering the renderings that they're offering. Like I I have been consistently just more and more and more impressed with the renderings that Jade's putting out. I think that they just keep getting better, in my opinion. And I think that with every place, I think that there's work to be done. But I do think that I do wish that even the small, all the little small shops would just take that extra minute to go like, would I want to diamond paint this? Do I see any issues? You know, I'm with digital room for improvement. Yeah. Poison ivy. Oh, not poison ivy. Oh no. Chrysobugs, man. Chrysobugs. That's where I'm stuck on. I'd buy all of them, but I can't see myself doing it. Can't. I think that there's also places that they'll tell you that something is a full hand render, and when you get it, it's actually more like a C grade or a D grade render. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought I was paying for a hand render, and this doesn't look like it's actually been fully rendered. There wouldn't be all of this extra confetti. The color choices are really weird. Like, yeah, there's definitely room for improvement out there for sure. I think what's lacking is an expanded color palette for diamonds. Yes, and I think that's why it's nice that DAC is creating their own colors and expanding the color palette. I think that there's plenty more room to go, but once I would like to see, you know, that well, I know that with Diamond Art Club specifically that people of color will be rendering better as the colors in the 6000s have more browns. I think that we're going to see like what really people of color are supposed to look like and not just bright weird reds or purples or blues. Um and I do appreciate that, you know, they are expanding that color palette to include more colors, especially in the browns. I think since there are times I will consider buying something just because the render is beautiful indicates there could be a lot of better renders. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's see. Community behavior questions. Oh, okay. Here's one. Yes or no? People take diamond painting way too seriously. Yeah, I think it's like any hobby, honestly. Whoa, beans. Excuse you, sir. That was my Pyrenees. Sorry about that. Um, I think it's like any hobby that's going to be primarily women. There's just going to be some extra drama, honestly. I think that yes, there are people who take this crap way too seriously. Way too seriously. I think that, you know, if if they just took a second and were like, does this matter really? Does this really matter? Yeah, I think some people could probably Hakuna their tatas for real. Prove a lot of things in life too. Yeah. Yes. I think it's just, you know, like even there's drama and too much happening and um cross stitch, like knitting, all of it, all of it. I think that anytime anytime you get a craft or a hobby that's going to be primarily ladies, like you're just going to run into some unnecessary, like just people taking it too serious. Sometimes we forget to give grace. It's a hobby and the craft police aren't going to come knocking. Yeah. Hello, Helen. Hello, hello. Part of the fun for me. It's a real life novella. Yeah, it can be. I've been following the Chronicles of a Randy right Yes, the things people will die on a hill for when it comes to this hobby. I'm saying, yeah, it's true. It's definitely true. It's like, oof. But, you know, some of us don't have anything better to do with our lives than to follow some of that drama. So to be fair, I'm one of those people, it's like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all, but if you don't have anything nice to say, like, come sit next to me because I wanna hear about it. Terrible. Terrible. Why not? What do you mean you did it that way? That's not the right way. You need to talk with the axolotl wizards first, right? Mhm. It's true, though. Okay, next question about community. Um, Gatekeeping is killing the fun. I think that's true sometimes. Saga continues. The Arandi saga continues. Yes. Yes, yes. Yeah, I think there are some people who gatekeep and can make it not fun. I think anytime that you're judging another person too harshly about something that they're doing that's bringing them happiness is like, but why does it matter to you? Why do you care so much? How slow somebody works or how fast somebody works or what artist somebody likes or um even the people who, like I said earlier, can't afford licensed diamond paintings, like as long as they're not stealing artwork, what do you care if they're working on Timu kits or like I just yes, there are people who gatekeep and definitely do kind of suck the fun out of it, but also letting another person harsh your mellow is kind of your choice. You don't have to listen to anybody who has an opinion about you or what you do anyways. So don't let the people get to you if they're trying to get to you. It's just like that person that I told you earlier is like leaving one dislike on all of my videos. I live rent free in their head for some reason. I don't know why, but like, they're not gonna spoil my fun. I'm gonna keep doing what I do regardless. So, yeah, gatekeeping can suck sometimes. I'm here. Us guys can be dramatic too. Talk sports, cars, tools, etc. Being passionate is good, but can get away from us. It's true. It's true, Matt. Very true. Um, Showing off huge stashes online is bragging. Um, I It can be. It really depends on how you're sharing what you have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very proud of my stash, and I don't think that I've ever presented it in a way that I meant for it to be bragging. It's never ever been my intention. Maybe it has come off that way to people who are a bit sensitive about the fact that they maybe can't afford a larger stash or whatever, but I think it's all in the presentation, honestly. Yeah, yeah, agree. Do you frame your pictures? Hi, Helen. I haven't framed my pictures yet, but I do have frames for specific pictures that I want to get put together. But generally, I have way too freaking many. to be able to frame all of them. Like that would cost me probably thousands just in framing alone. But I think there's some really cool ones out there that you can get where it's like essentially two pieces of wood, okay? And on the top, it makes it a scroll sort of situation where you can cut the sides off, but you leave the top, and then the piece of wood covers like the top part, and then it's got magnets in it so that you can stick it together and it'll hold or hold the pieces of wood together with magnets. It's usually good to like staple them together as well because diamond paintings are heavy. But then there's another set that goes on the bottom, which it's not holding any weight. So you just magnet those together. And then the top part has like a rope or whatever in it. So really all you're paying for is like, you could even skip the magnets if you wanted to and staple the wood together. So you're only paying for like 4 strips of wood. You could use almost baseboarding to do that. It just kind of depends on, you know, what kind of framing you're looking to do. But no, I don't frame mine. I do have a couple of really nice frames that I want to put some of my diamond paintings into, but I haven't yet. I haven't done that yet. Okay, come on, glue. Don't start acting up on me now. Nope, I love seeing a good stash video. Yeah. It's people being sensitive. Like I have what I have. It may not be what you have, but most will never be public. Okay, that's fair. Same. I completely agree. We should all be proud of what we have and where we're at. Yeah, heck yeah. And I don't I also don't want to stash shame anybody when possible because I mean unless, you know, a person really just doesn't have control anymore of what they're purchasing. But as far as like the size of somebody else's stash, it's really none of my business in the end. Like at the end of the day, it's not my business. I just worry, you know, there are some people who very clearly do not have good um they don't have good self-control skills. And so they end up with these massive, humongous stashes that like they're just gonna sit there, right? And I mean, it's not for me to say. It really isn't for me to say. But I do worry like about people who do not seem to have control of the situation. But again, it's not for me to say whether they have control or not. You know what I mean? I'm not the stash police, so can't really. But if somebody out and wants some help on strategies for not buying as often, I'm happy to help in those situations, you know? Um, let's see. I've never done it. Does each pick come in a kit with the exact number of each color needed? You've never diamond painted, Helen? Because yes, each kit should come with everything that you need. No stash shaming. I love a stash video. It's some people I cannot. I don't care about the number. I care if you're boring. Yeah, you're boring or you sound like you're bragging. Then it's like, bye. People have worked hard to get what they have, small or large. We should all just support. Unless they're doing it instead of groceries. Yeah, there is that. It's like, are your kids hungry? Probably stop buying diamond painting. Just a thought. Just a thought. You know, if you got everything under control, then I don't care what you do. It's none of my business. But yeah, if you mean, do they give you everything that you need for doing diamond painting, Helen? Yes, yes, they do. Helen, I actually have a couple of videos. If you go down into the description and you take a look, scroll down to the bottom of like the description box, there's a couple of videos there, like things you should know before buying a kit or how to diamond paint, things I wish I knew before I started diamond painting. I highly recommend checking out those videos or other tutorial videos before you go out and spend a lot of money on diamond paintings that might not be the quality that you're looking for. You make coloring books? Oh, right on. That's cool. Yeah, if you're interested in doing a little bit of research, then I have a couple videos down there that can tell you all sorts of things because there's so many different places, just like with coloring books, I'm sure, where you can get licensed work, unlicensed work, what have you. All kinds of information out there. And some of it's even good information. Yeah, a lot of us do color. Yes, yes. A lot of us like coloring, cross stitching, crocheting, those pixel things. I haven't tried the pixel hobby things yet, but yeah, there's a lot of us in here that do a lot of different kinds of crafts. I don't remember who used to post their coloring pages. I miss that. I actually want to get back more into coloring. Oh. Do you have a Helen, do you have like a website or something that you could post in the chat so people could go take a look? Yeah, I've seen some really good coloring stuff out there. I am not as super talented with the coloring. Like I think it's fancy when you outline the when you outline things with a darker like okay, so if I was coloring this, right? I would like do all of the hair outlined in dark purple and then I would do lighter purple on the inside. Like that's fancy to me when I color. I'm not a I'm not it looks good. It looks fine when I'm done, but it's definitely not what I've seen some people do, which is like crazy talent, crazy talent with coloring. I mean, at the end of the day, again, it doesn't matter as long as you're enjoying yourself. It's coloring for crying out loud. Like it's not a competitive sport for everybody, but um it's just a fun thing to do. I'd only ever thought of filling the whole shape in one color, but people add shading and depth. Yeah, I mean, I've tried. I do tutorials for coloring, but enjoy watching lots of crafts. Oh, cool. Well, you can drop your YouTube if you want to. Feel free. Yeah, if you're a YouTube content creator and you want to throw out a link to your YouTube right now, go for it. I'm all about cross promotion things. Have at. Share the love, man. There's enough people on YouTube for everybody. Billions of subscribers around the world. So I think we can share a few. All right, what time are we at? Let's see. 9:30. Ooh, it's about that time, y'all. I'm gonna be calling it an evening and heading over to the usual spots to hang. For those who wanna hang out, you can go hang out. But first, if I don't get Senior ready for a W, he's gonna come after me in my sleep. So. All right, guys. I hope you got lots of diamond painting done or coloring or whatever the heck you were doing. Whatever the heck you were doing. It was Amalia. Some of the coloring channels are jaw dropping good. Yeah, was she posting in Discord her color pages? I don't remember. Coloring is relaxing once you hit that flow state. Heck yeah. I make the colorist's special effects books. You won't know then as it's pens and pencils, not diamond painting. Oh, okay. Yeah, but if y'all want to drop links, please do. And don't be smirch beans like that. He likes it. Don't let him lie to you. He likes it. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I will be back on Saturday nights. I am also, like I said, I'm gonna talk to Crashly and make sure that she wouldn't be upset with me or something if I wanted to do like a community auction on my YouTube for people in Discord or whatever that wanted to get together and do a D stash together. But I'll just make sure that she wouldn't be mad. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be back on Saturday, like I said. Otherwise, you know where to find me in the usual places. Otherwise, as ever, I hope that wherever you guys are in this great, big, wide, wonderful world, that you are having a glorious morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. All right, guys, I will talk